Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking you on an economical trip around some of the highlights in Plymouth, Massachusetts. We'll be seeing Plymouth Rock, the Mayflower II, and taking a walk through Burial Hill Cemetery, along with some other sites. So if you give me 5 minutes, we'll show you historical Plymouth, Massachusetts. One of the must-see attractions in Plymouth is, of course, Plymouth Rock, a symbol of the Pilgrims' arrival and the birthplace of New England. Pilgrims didn't give it much of a shout out in their writings. Town records from around 1750 refer to it as Great Rock. Fast forward to 1771 and the spry 94-year-old Thomas France claimed it was their landing spot. It took another century for Plymouth Rock to get its big break, literally. In a twist of fate, the rock was split in 1774 when they tried moving it to the town square. One chunk stayed put and is now at the Pilgrim Hall Museum since 1834, and the other piece stayed in the harbor until 1880, and then it was reunited with its twin and got the 1620 engraved makeover that you can see on the rock now. In the end, it's a big rock. Now that you're done looking at the rock, turn around and follow the shore and you'll see the Mayflower II, a full-scale replica of the original ship that brought the Pilgrims to America in 1620. While the original Mayflower has long since vanished, the Mayflower II was crafted to give a taste of what that historic voyage might have been like. This vessel was built in England in the 1950s and set sail for the United States in 1957, making stops in various ports along the East Coast before finally docking in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The Mayflower II offers a chance to step back in time and experience life aboard this 17th century ship. It's complete with period-appropriate furnishings and even costume crew members to answer your questions. Now, I was feeling especially cheap that day, so we didn't take the tour, but I have been on the replica of the Columbus ship, the Nina, in Corpus Christi, Texas. And honestly, I can appreciate what a month-long sea journey aboard a boat that size was like. Talk about close quarters. Jabez Howland House is nestled at 33 Sandwich Street in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and is the last known standing structure where actual pilgrims had lived. This two-story wood-framed house was built by Jacob Mitchell in 1667 and purchased by Jabez Howland. Jabez Howland, along with his parents John and Elizabeth Howland, were passengers on the Mayflower that brought the Pilgrims to America. Jabez was just a kid at the time, and he ended up being one of the youngest passengers to make that voyage. The house is listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1974, and the Pilgrim John Howland Society are the proud owner and curators of this historic time machine. They've decked out the 17th century furnishings in this house, and it is open for tours from mid-June through October. Personally, I love the stained glass windows. Burial Hill Cemetery is a historic cemetery on School Street in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Established in the 17th century, it's the burial site of several founding pilgrims and has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2013. The entrance is a stone's throw from the First Parish Church, and it leads you to this 5.1-acre web of paved paths, some with stairs for the steeper climbs. Wandering through the cemetery, we were surrounded by gravestones that have weathered the years, some better than others, as you can see. There are around 2,000 marked graves dating from 1680 to 1957. In the Pilgrims' early days, you'll find the first burial ground on Coles Hill. Pilgrims had big plans for Burial Hill, including crafting it into a fort from 1621 to 22, and it also doubled as a meeting place. Legend has it the first grave here belongs to the Pilgrim John Howland, who died in 1672. One of the remarkable things about Burial Hill is it's not just a cemetery. It's also a place where you can trace the evolution of tombstone art and inscriptions over time. You'll find various styles from simple carved images to more elaborate symbols that were meaningful to people of different eras. And hey, if you're into stunning views, you're in luck. The cemetery sits on the hill overlooking Plymouth Harbor and the town, offering you a picturesque backdrop for your stroll through history. Another interesting stop is the Hedge House, a historic house museum that offers a glimpse into 19th century life in Plymouth. Built around 1809, this Federal-style house is like a living window into the past, giving you insights into the lifestyle of an affluent family during that era. The house was once owned by a sea captain named William Hammett and is believed to have hosted President John Adams during his visit to Plymouth in 1802. Nowadays, the Hedge House is home to the Plymouth Antiquarian Society, and it's open for tours. Inside, they tell me you'll find meticulously restored rooms with period furnishings showcasing the elegance and style of the early 19th century. Think ornate wallpaper, classic furniture, and a general vibe that's all about capturing the essence of that time. For a peaceful retreat, explore Brewster Gardens, a beautiful park filled with flower beds, walkways, and a picturesque view of the waterfront. Brewster Gardens is named after Elder William Brewster, one of the pilgrims who arrived on the Mayflower. The gardens follow the town brook, a stream that's woven into Plymouth's history and played a role in the pilgrim settling. There's a picturesque gazebo, charming footbridges, and even a sculpture of Chief Massasoit of the Wampanoag, a leader who played a vital role in the early interactions between the Pilgrims and Native Americans. If you do make the trip to Brewster Gardens, it's an excellent spot to go ahead and take some takeout and have a picnic. As we conclude our journey through Plymouth, we stop at the National Monument to the Forefathers, a towering granite sculpture that honors the Pilgrims' ideals and their dedication to freedom and democracy. This is one huge sculpture. Designed by Boston's famous architect Hammett Billings, this 81-foot tall granite statue along the waterfront is one of the oldest monuments in Massachusetts and one of the tallest freestanding sculptures of granite in the country. It was originally going to be over 150 feet tall. Hammett Billings envisioned this towering beauty to be made entirely of Maine's finest granite. His brother Joseph, along with other artistic minds, added their flair, carving out figures of faith, morality, law, education, and liberty, a real A-listers of Pilgrim values. The monument was listed on the National Register of Historic Places on August 30th, 1974. It and Plymouth Rock constitute the Pilgrim Memorial State Park. When you get here, there is a road going around the monument. You can park along the side of the road and walk up the hill to see the monument. Don't forget to grab a bite to eat at the many delicious seafood restaurants in town, where you can savor some of the freshest catches from the Atlantic Ocean. We found the downtown and waterfront area to be very walkable. The cost of parking was our total expense for this excursion. Everything we showed you was within walking distance from our parking spot along the bayfront. If you're a camper, there are a lot of campgrounds within a half-hour drive of Plymouth, making this an excellent family vacation spot and even more economical to visit. Now that you've experienced the highlights of Plymouth, Massachusetts, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button to stay tuned for more travel adventures. We also enjoy to hear your comments below. Thanks so much for watching.